Welcome to Surflight Previews. We haven't seen you in a while. It's a new year, and this is sort of a new location, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Not the least of which is the fact that there's a national pandemic, and we have had to erect a tent next to the theater to do things like this, and to have a theater this summer. Here's the guy, here's the hero who made it happen. This is Steve Steiner. And Steve is the producing artistic director of Surflight Theater. I'm Al Parinello. I just own the joint. And do I own this now too?
Actually, it's rented.
Oh, I gotta go. So at any rate, so this is all kinds of new. So we're outdoors, and that means you might hear a lot of noise that you normally don't hear. So when we do these sort of things. But today we are here to celebrate an amazing new, an amazing old musical that has traditions that go way back, and I'll get into that a little bit. But we're talking about Cabaret, and Cabaret is one of the great musicals of all time. It's done amazing business over the years. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It was actually, well, like 54 years ago, 1966. Wow. The year I graduated high school. And I knew nothing about Cabaret back then. I knew nothing about anything, especially the high school stuff. At any rate, so the book was by Joe Masteroff, the music by John Kander, and the lyrics by Fred Ebb. Kander and Ebb, two of the great teams, two people forming a team that was one of the great teams in the history of theater. What else did they write?
Well, let's see. You put me on the spot. I was sleeping.
See, and the man who knows it all.
Yes.
Carousel?
No, that's Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Right.
They wrote a wonderful piece that not a lot of people know about called The Rink. That starred, Liza Minnelli, and Cheetah Rivera.
There you go.
That was 1983. They had a number of other pieces that they did as well, and of course now that I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning here.
In case you haven't realized it yet, audience, we do no rehearsals.
None at all. None at all.
So this thing played quite, as I said, 54 years ago on Broadway, but actually it's had a life on Broadway four times. The first time was 66, the second time was in 87. 1998, it came back with a thunderous performance, and that particular one lasted 2,377 shows. The original one in 66, 1,165. And then there was another performance in 2014 on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And that was, it was short-lived, but it was only about 400 performances. But altogether, over 4,200 performances of this play on Broadway. So, it gives us a little significant understanding of how powerful the play is. Now, why is it powerful?
Well, I was going to also add, before we talk about how powerful it was, that it is one of the all-time great movie musicals.
Yes. 1972.
That's right.
Bob Fosse was the director. Liza Minnelli, who we've already named. Joel Grey, Burt Convey, Jack Gilford, and directed by Harold Price. An amazing movie. It's a movie that's stunningly beautiful, and if you haven't seen it, you should. Rent it. Do whatever you need to do to see this movie, and then come here and see how much better this is.
It's really powerful because it's quite the political piece. This is talking about how wonderful everything is in 1929 going into 1930 in Germany, in the Weimar Republic. It was just as the rise of the Nazis was happening, and you can really see how the politics affect the lives of everyday people in this piece.
Yeah, it's one of these pieces that it really makes you think, and it's sometimes very humorous, sometimes tremendously dramatic. I mean, think about, everybody has this awareness that, you know, Nazis are coming and things are going to change. And yet, there's this one little place that they gravitate to called the Kit Kat Club. And at the Kit Kat Club, there's a woman who does all of the singing, Sally
Bowles.
Sally Bowles. And Sally Bowles is, I would say, pretty much the star of the play. She's the person who personifies everything that was happening in song. And she was rather eclectic woman. But you know, I did some extensive research on this, because as I kept digging, I found out things that I found stunning. That there was a play called "I Am a Camera" in 1951, and that's the first time the character of Sally Bowles ever appeared. And the person who played her was a very young Julie Harris. And so I thought, okay, so now we're back to 1951. But that play was produced after this person whose name eludes me right now.
Christopher Isherwood.
That's it. As I said, we had no rehearsal. and he basically took the this novel called Goodbye to Berlin, which introduced Sally Bowles on paper in the novel.
And the novel was based on his experiences at the time. This is really, he sort of had writer's cramp, as they say, or, you know, a writer block. Couldn't think of anything, and he was having this marvelous time and met this person that the character of Sally Bowles is you know, based upon. And all of the other people that he met in this area of Berlin, and after he left, that became his inspiration to write the book.
I mean, a fabulous story, so it started. This whole concept started in 1939 in this novel. And by the way, Bowles, the last name of Sally, obviously a creation. He called she needed a last name. He wanted Sally. She needed a last name. He was a gay man, and he sort of fell in love with a guy with the last name of Bowles. And he said, "This will be my way of bringing that love of my life back to life in this thing." I Am a Camera. What a strange title. The first page of the book was kind of interesting. The title is a quote from the novel's first page. "I am a camera with its shutter open, quite passive, recording, not thinking." I think that's perfect. So at any rate, we are going to be premiering this play, and you might be seeing this video after this date, but know that it's going to be here until August 2nd. So it opens on July 10th, and it goes right to August 2nd, right here. Let's talk about the songs.
Willkommen is wonderful. Cabaret, the title song, is terrific. Don't Tell Mama.
You know what my favorite is?
What's that?
The Pineapple song. The Pineapple. By the way, we didn't say this, but Steve and I produced this show in Atlantic City. And I fell in love. Every time the Pineapple song came up, I was just like, let me just relax, listen to these words, and realize what life is really all about. Pineapples.
Well, and that was 15 years ago.
Wow, was it?
Yeah.
The songs are like nothing you've ever heard. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So the bottom line is, it's fun. It really is fun, and it's challenging. This is sort of like something other than what Surflight is known for. It's a little more in depth. It's a little heavier story, but fun, real fun. There are going to be parts where you're going to want to just stand up and start dancing.
And the dancing. Speaking of the dancing, outstanding in the Fosse style. Who created the piece originally? It's not Fosse's choreography, obviously. It's Paula Hammond Sloan choreography, and she does so many of our shows here at Surflight. But the dancers are outstanding.
So where do we go from here? Let's talk about some other events coming up.
Well, let's see. We've got comedy on the 13th of July. We've got Who Loves You, tribute to
I do, Steve. I do.
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons on the 20th. We have the Edwards Twins on the 27th
Tell them about the
of
Edwards
July.
Twins.
They are male and female impersonators, and they are the best in the business. They're outstanding, and they're going to be, I think one of their shows is already sold out.
Wow.
And of course, there's children's theater that goes on every Wednesday through Sunday. The Oak Ridge Boys are still coming.
We have another show coming up after this in this big tent, in this big arena.
Yes, we do.
And that show is?
Mamma Mia.
Ah, remember that? Last year, Mamma Mia, we had in the theater, and it completely sold out. I don't think there was a seat available throughout the entire run, and we were lucky enough to be able to get them back this year because there were so many people who couldn't get in to see it that it just seemed that let's satisfy everyone. If you saw it last year, you know how great it is, and it's going to be right here outside, so it'll be a different sort of production, and that's coming up when?
It's August 4th through the 30th.
Great. So that's quite a summer. And then after that, we're doing a whole John Denver thing, which we'll tell you about in other videos coming up. Mm-hmm. But right now, how do we get tickets? Very simple. You go to surflight.org, or you call the number, which is
609-492-9477. And when the guy comes on droning, you just push 1 and you'll go right to the box.
And of course, if that was a lot of noise in the background, it has go down. Give that number again.
609-492-9477. Then press 1 when it answers.
Okay, that seems to be it. My paper is completely finished. I've said everything I wanted to say. Your mind is completely finished, as
I think it is, absolutely.
So thanks, guys. And once again, this is Surflight Previews. Come see the shows. Come see the shows. They're fabulous. And this new arena outside, you're perfectly safe. Thank you. See you next time.